It's not even 2024 yet. 2023 has not even ended, and the drugstore brands are out there killing it with the new releases. I am here for it. E.L.F just released their new Hydrating CC Cream. If you're excited about this product too, then definitely keep on watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click on the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and test out the new Hydrating Camo CC Cream from E.L.F. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to start off by saying I definitely have the wrong shade in this. It's way too dark, way too pink for my skin, but I still really wanted to test it out for you guys and just give you my first impressions, even though we're just gonna look past the fact that it's entirely the wrong shade on me. It claims to be full coverage, long-lasting, dewy finish. I got the shade Light 210N, so light with neutral beige undertones. I will say on my skin tone, it pulls a little bit more pink. It has skin-loving ingredients like tremella mushroom and hyaluronic acid. It does have broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen, so there is a little bit of a chemical sunscreen in there, which does tend to irritate my skin personally. So if you're sensitive to chemical sunscreens, something to keep in mind. It says it's a full coverage color correction meets a dewy hydrated finish. Multitasking dream cream infused with a blend of tremella mushroom, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and vegan collagen. This hydrating formula plumps skin appearance plus helps protect broad spectrum SPF. Directions: apply 1 to 2 pumps to clean skin using the E.L.F Complexion Duo brush for an airbrush finish. Okay, the directions say to use a brush, but I was thinking I would do a brush on one side and a sponge on the other. So let's just go ahead and get started. I already washed my face, applied some moisturizer. I'm not gonna go in with a primer just because I really wanna see how this performs by itself. So it's the same sort of packaging as the original CC cream, except I think the original CC cream was just all black. This one has this little white portion, little squeezy tube with a pump, which I like. It retails for $15 and you get the standard 1 ounce of product. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm gonna take 1 pump on one side and 1 pump on the other because it says you can use 1 to 2 pumps. Let's just go ahead and test her out. There it is right there. It's not super runny, like it's not dripping down the back of my hand, but it does feel definitely more thin and like creamy than the original CC cream if you've tried that. So let's start on this side of the face and I'm just gonna dot it on. Again, we're going to ignore the horrendous shade. Wow, I feel like 1 pump is gonna be a lot because I still have a lot of product here. I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty foundation brush because this is my favorite foundation brush, so I wanna give this product the best chance. You know, gotta be fair. Let's just start by tapping her in. Oh my gosh, the shade is so bad. It doesn't look as bad on camera, but in person, it looks so peachy and just really dark for my skin. I'm doing this for you guys, and I have the turtleneck on, so hopefully, you know, it's not so noticeable. I can't even take myself seriously. Right off the bat, it does seem to have pretty good coverage. I feel like with that 1 pump on half of my face, I got almost full coverage there. So I'm sure you could shear this out if you just went in with 1 pump for your entire face. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to see how much coverage we could really get out of this. So once it's all spread around, I'm just sort of pressing it into my skin. Let's go on my ear a little bit. It hasn't fully set down yet, but it looks very luminous on the skin, not glittery or sparkly. It doesn't look like it has any sort of shimmer or pearlescence like the Makeup by Mario or the Maybelline 24-hour skin tint. It doesn't seem to have any mica in it, but it definitely has a bit of that glowy finish. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I think you can a little bit. We'll see if that sets down. Right now, it does feel just the slightest bit tacky, and I can feel it on my skin. It feels like I applied a really thick moisturizer almost. I don't mind that, but if you don't like feeling your foundation, you might not want to go in with as much as I did. Personally, I feel like the next time I use this, I'll probably just use 1 pump for the whole face because I do feel like it's a lot on just half of my face, but the coverage is really nice. I can sort of see a little bit of my skin peeking through. There's my beauty mark right there. I've got a tiny bit of discoloration, so probably high, medium, low, full coverage if you go in with 1 pump for half your face, so 2 pumps for the whole face. But I am pretty impressed by the coverage for how hydrating and luminous this feels and looks. Already, I can sort of see it settling into my smile lines, which is not my favorite, and my forehead lines. So if you have a lot of lines and texture, don't go in with as much product as I did in those areas because it's gonna settle, girl. So let's try the sponge on the other side. Take another pump. I feel like I'm going with so much product, but it's for you guys. It's for you guys. We're gonna see the full potential of this baby. And I do have some healing acne on this side, so we'll see how well this covers it. I feel like that's more than enough, and I still have a bunch left, so we are gonna be full glam, full coverage, the whole 9 yards. And the shade is killing me. The shade match, I can't even take myself seriously. I think you can tell a little bit just how almost salmony it looks compared to my skin tone. I'm using a Real Techniques beauty sponge. It's damp, and I feel like I'm still getting pretty good coverage even with the sponge. Why did I put these earrings on before I applied foundation? Foundation just sticks to this. Fingerprints are going to show up on this. Probably not the best choice for me on my part, but you know, they're pretty, so I had to. Also, can we just talk about, my mom got me this turtleneck sweater and like, I don't know if you can see, matching sweatpants. There's something about a matching sweatsuit that makes me feel like I have my life together. Like I'm not walking around in pajamas all day. I'm actually dressed and like ready to go, but like not really. You know what I mean? If you haven't tried them, what are you doing? You'll thank me later. Your life will never be the same. Okay, I'm actually really liking how this is looking with the sponge. I feel like it's melting into my skin a little bit better. However, I am noticing it is sinking into my pores, especially in the center of my face. I'll try to zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see, but see how my skin just looks pretty textured? I mean, I'm a human. I have texture, I have pores. Nothing wrong with that, but I do feel like this foundation is emphasizing and just sinking into my pores a little bit more than other foundations would do. But here's the side with the sponge. Definitely not the fullest coverage because I have this really prominent vein that's peeking through. You can see my acne scarring, but these are super, super red, dark, irritated, and it is raised from the skin. So this is gonna be really hard to cover. So, you know, I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. This is the side that we applied with the brush, and I do feel like it looks pretty good on the skin. I like the coverage. I like the dewy finish without the sparkle. I'm not seeing a huge difference between the side applied with the sponge and with the brush. I feel like the finish is the same. So far, so good. I'm not immediately blown away, but I don't think it's terrible. I think it looks pretty good, and I think with the right skin prep, it could be amazing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we'll start the wear test. Okay, I'm back. Makeup is done, and I feel like everything's looking pretty good. I will say that while I was doing the rest of my makeup, applying the other products, I was looking super up close and personal at my skin, and you know, it's dangerous when you do that because your self-esteem can just go which happens to me a lot, especially if you're in like the orange bathroom lighting and you're up close and you're like, girl, we got some problems. When I was up close and personal in other lightings, the CC cream was looking just a little bit heavy on the skin, I will say. It's not one of those no makeup products where you are like, is she wearing foundation? Is she not? Is her skin just that gorgeous? This is like, okay, it looks like you have a little bit of makeup on, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm wearing makeup, so what? I want to look like I have makeup on. I like makeup. I'm fine with looking like I have makeup on, but if you don't want to look like you have makeup on, probably steer clear of this. Also, if you have a lot of texture, if you got enlarged pores, if you have a lot of fine lines, this is not super smoothing. So I am going to continue testing this out with like a pore filling primer. I feel like that will really help this to look its best. This would really benefit from something like the E.L.F. Poreless Putty Primer, the Benefit Professional. I'm thinking that will knock this to the next level. Overall, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm not loving how my pores look. I'm not loving just how heavy it's looking. It's looking just a little bit too heavy for my preferences, but overall, I like the coverage. I like the dewy, luminous finish. Oh, another thing, right here in between my brows, I do have a lot of dryness right now. It's winter. My skin is pretty chapped and flaky. It's clinging onto those dry patches just a little bit, which is weird for a hydrating foundation. I did powder just a little bit through my T-zone, but I didn't set the sides of my face, FYI. I feel like the powder helped to smooth out the pores just a little bit, but I feel like they're still pretty visible. And again, it is sinking into those forehead lines and a little bit around my mouth. Do not get too close to my mouth because my stash needs tending to. You didn't see those little hairs. Nothing to see. There's nothing there. Nothing. The time is 11:39, so I'll wear this as long as I can. I'll check back in with you guys and give you my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back. It has been about 7 hours and things are looking pretty dewy, which is very unique for me because I never look dewy at the end of the night. So one thing I'll give this CC cream is that it is very hydrating. If you have extremely oily skin, I don't think this is going to be the foundation CC cream for you because again, I'm looking pretty dewy and I have dry skin. The things that I said earlier about the CC cream still stand. I feel like it's emphasizing my texture and my pores, especially as it's worn on my skin. I even feel like I see my pores in my forehead, which I usually don't. Usually it's like in this area that I'm noticing my pores, but even in the areas where I didn't know I had large pores, it's making it look like I have ginormous pores. So that's not my favorite. Again, I'm gonna keep testing this with a pore filling primer because I feel like that will really help this to look better. It has worn off around my chin in this area. I was eating, I was playing with my kids, we were wrestling. So, you know, I feel like any foundation would really wear off in this area. A gripping primer might help to really lock that into place for future. Overall, I'll give this CC cream a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I'm not blown away. I don't hate it, but I feel like it's a little bit finicky. It needs a lot of finagling to make it look its best. Foundations are really personal and it's gonna look super different on everyone's skin. But for me, I feel like it's not the most foolproof. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have you tried this CC cream? Are you going to try it? Are you interested in trying it? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll catch you guys in my next video.